Ladies and gentlemen, Nestea and MVP in overall series, tied 1-1. The final match of the final best of 3. Each player has defeated the other 3 times in the course of this BlizzCon tournament today, and everything comes down to one final match for $50,000.
It all comes down to Shakur's Plateau, which will be our last map between these two players, Sean. $50,000 on the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to make some noise? The grand final of BlizzCon 2011 could not have had a better story. Everything comes down to one single game. If MVP wins, then he is the champion. If Nestea wins, then he is the champ. Let's hop in to the final match of the BlizzCon Invitational. Now, I want the crowd to be as quiet as possible. I'm actually going to pull my headphones away. All right, good. You're being very quiet. In the top left corner, he was dominated in the winner's bracket final, but he came back in the first best of 3 to tie it up 1-1 and has now pushed it to a final game 3. If you would like him to win, give a cheer for the underdog in this series, IM's MVP!
And over here, the player who was in the winner's bracket final defeating MVP came up in this match, lost the first set. Can he actually pull it back here and defeat his friend? It is Nestea.
Though almost everybody would go for that early expand, MVP no, even on Shakur's Plateau. He wants to favor that double Hellion opening. Nestea going for the early expand like clockwork will be getting that pool, that gas, that hatch up at the exact same time as he has optimized that opening as best he can.
Now, Sean, I really want to get inside the head of these two players. You've been in this situation before, in these boots, in the grand final. What is going through your head right now?
In Nestea's position, I'm going to be feeling really nervous. After that first game, I'm thinking to myself, if I push it to a long game, I'm going to be in great shape. But then after that second game, I'm realizing, oh my gosh, my teammate could come attack me at any point in time, and he could even expand anywhere on the map at any point in time. MVP has the full gamut of possibilities in his mid game. If I'm Nestea, I am praying I can get this match past 12 minutes.
Now, what about MVP's point of view, Sean?
I'm in MVP's spot. I think that I am starting to realize that I have a lot more momentum than I initially did. MVP went into this series after a really disheartening loss in the GSL finals, another disheartening loss in the winner's bracket finals, and he has pushed it all the way back to this final set. I think MVP can really dig deep and think to himself, I am capable of beating MVP in yet another best of 3.
And here we go, Sean. The action is already heating up. We do see a bunker at the natural from MVP, putting some pressure here onto Nestea.
Whoa. Looks like Nestea is getting caught a little bit off guard by this. This is the classic move that MVP is known for. This kind of bunker aggression. He wants to force more Zerglings, try to delay that spine crawler.
He's just going to fall back, Sean. He will be opening up with the reactor Hellion here. So we do see the reactor and, of course, that factory. But look how many drones he actually just forced for Nestea. He has a total of 6 out on the map right now. That is 3 possible drones that are no longer there.
An MVP brilliantly building up to 4 Marines. That means with proper control, he will be able to pick off all of these Zerglings, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Picking off the first front lines. Great play by MVP, and now MVP is going to force yet more lings to be constructed for Nestea. In a little bit of desperation, one spine crawler is planted, and we see that Hellion, double Hellion play is coming up right now.
See a total, wow, all the way up to 10 lings for these 4 Marines. That is 14 lings. Is that an overreaction, Sean?
I almost feel like Nestea kind of has to do that. He doesn't really have that much of an idea of what his opponent's doing. He's only just found this gas geyser. He has no information in the slightest, and when these Hellions pop out, they're going to be able to do some massive damage to these Zerglings. Nestea's hoping to run along this south flank and catch everything off guard, and that would be his hope of getting that lead back early.
Command Center for MVP almost finished. He will be taking his expansion pretty soon. We see that Rax finishing the tech lab. We also have a couple of Hellions popping out here. Some Lings, though, for Nestea are being very sneaky here, Sean. We see Ling speed finished, and is he going to move in?
It looks like he's moving in, but with the mistiming, the Hellions just now getting to the front of the ramp. They will be able to clean up all the Marines, but we see those 2 supply depots lifted immediately, and Nestea is guaranteed to lose all these Zerglings now.
Really got to try to get us around, but I'm not sure if MVP is going to allow it. Here comes the 2 more Hellions, a lot of the Lings dying there, and that attack has been foiled from Nestea.
And look at this, the triple command center play from MVP. He is going for the long-term macro game again. Impossible to predict anything out of MVP's play, doing a huge variety of styles.
And that is a very, very quick lair coming out of Nestea right now. Still on 2 base. He has not that much gas stockpile, but we do see the 2nd and 3rd and 4th extractor finished there. So we'll be, of course, moving the drones over. But this is looking kind of similar to the last game right now. He does have these 6 Hellions right now outside the ramp, but it's going to be very hard for him to push in.
MVP again, he's hardly even looking for an opportunity to attack. He is looking for an opportunity to slowly stockpile a lot of tanks, a lot of Marines at the front. He's just now getting stim. He'll be building a bunker. He'll be getting an engineering base shortly for those upgrades. And MVP is playing for the long-term, gigantic mid-game push. And how will Nestea answer? Will he go for that usual Spire? It looks like he's gearing up to do so.
We'll be waiting for that Spire to go down. The Baneling Nest about to finish. We still don't have that macro hatch. There it is, actually going down right now at the natural. Now that I talk about it, we see the +1 melee attacks upgrade started. And MVP's trying to get in here to the natural. That 1 queen is very low. Oh, 9 HP. Does not lose it, but it is very, very low.
And of course, because it's Nestea, that queen still had way more hit points than it had energy. Because Nestea literally never misses a larva inject, and this is quite an uncharacteristic move from Nestea. Getting an Overseer to just try to figure out what the heck MVP is doing, that is a real sign that Nestea is feeling quite rattled at this point in time.
Spire about halfway complete for Nestea, but he's still trapped here on these 2 bases simply because there's 6 Hellions outside. We see 1 Ling come out just to check to see if they're still there, and of course they do take it out very easily.
This 1 command center is going to skyrocket the economy for MVP. If we actually come look at the worker count, Nestea has hardly been able to maintain much of a lead. He has 45 workers to 44. Almost always you will have far more workers in the Zerg camp than in any of the opposing teams. So we do see the siege tanks getting all the upgrades. Stim just now finishing up. Combat shield will follow shortly. Must make certain he doesn't take too much damage from any Mutalisks.
Really wondering right now when Nestea is going to push out. He has 5 Mutalisks in production. The +1 melee upgrade should be finishing here. The Spine Crawler going down on the low ground. And will it be able to, it looks like it will burrow, but it's going to be very low HP.
Wow, it looks like MVP might just sit here and wail away on the Spine Crawler, but no, instead opting to take no damage. And now there's the time for MVP to have to deal with this runaround tactic by MVP. More barracks are going up, siege tanks are up, but there are no bunkers at the front. Ooh, MVP getting a little bit risky here. A single missile turret going up in the back in production. We see only 1 missile turret is incoming. And here come the Mutalisks, and MVP might be caught a little bit off guard.
If Nestea moves in, he would be able to deny that turret, and here he goes. Will he get in time? No! Oh, it finishes. Nestea has to fall back. That is too little mutas to really deal with that at that point in time, so he will use those to go clean up these Hellions outside of his base.
Nestea is not down and out, but MVP is looking to slowly be in an increasingly dominating position. Now the Hellions are finally getting pushed back, but look at this great move by MVP, popping down here to the 3rd base, but Nestea's a little bit too good for that. Cleans that Hellion up with ease. And when will MVP push out? I can tell you when your average player would move out, but MVP is anything but that. Ordinarily, players would start moving forward. He just, because he could, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's smart play, man. Use everything that you possibly can. Here come the mutas. They are going to get in, but not going to be able to do much because the missile turret and those Marines with +1 upgrades will chase them off. Now, Nestea actually really hasn't done too much with those mutas, and he really needs to start trying to do some more because if his opponent gets too far ahead right now economically, we see him actually taking the 3rd and 4th. Even he's a little bit worried about it, Sean.
And this is what makes Nestea such a difficult player in the late game. Look at how early he's planting these geysers down so that way he can begin getting that gas income as quickly as he can. JP, this is the last match. Both players are at match points. Whoever wins this will be the champion and get $50,000. Whoever loses will get $25,000 second place prize and not a single more chance to do any better.
And both players are playing very, very kind of passively right now, being very careful as we see Nestea has he found an entry point.
Looks like a couple of Mulos getting caught off guard. He loses one for free. And we see MVP, per usual, taking virtually no damage from any harassment. Another factory about to finish up. There's another stim from MVP. We see the 2 engineering bays busily upgrading away. And these 4 Hellions are trying to find any opportunity they can to step into the fray. Thor's in production, Marines pouring out of all these barracks. But MVP has just has actually stopped his SCV production. A little bit of a misstep. Wants to really get that high up so when he takes his 3rd base, he can get it up and operational right away. Nestea also skyrocketing with drones. 85 drones,
wow.
87, making more drones. Will likely turn those to spine crawlers eventually.
And this is where I start getting a little bit nervous right now for MVP. He's still on 2 base. Nestea has taken the map. You see him slowly start to move out. Big stim there on the low ground, but Nestea sends the mutas up to the high ground. Does take out that tank.
There's the Overseer trying to find anything he can to contaminate, but instead he splits into a bunch of icky gack and falls to the ground right where the orbital command's going to lay down.
Now, where is MVP going to fall? We do see some Hellions here into the 3rd base. They aren't blue flame, though, so they're going to have to connect a little bit more.
And it looks like, he's lined him up. He gets a big shot if he can do one more. No.
He does not get it.
Almost nothing killed there by MVP.
Look at
4 workers total.
Yeah. What? That's Nestea, man. That's all you got to say, I guess.
MVP walling off the bottom with command centers. Lol. He'll probably be morphing these into orbital commands because, as we see again, he's fairly low on that SCV count, and he will rapidly expand his supply up with just infantry, tanks, Thors. This is slowly going to become a defensive nightmare for MVP, JP. I mean, how can you possibly cover this much space when there's Mutalisk and Speed Zerglings running around everywhere?
Yeah, this is kind of reminding me of Idra's play. This is something that he does almost every TVZ that he plays in, is this huge focus on Mutalisk. And we see right now Nestea is about to pop into the natural. He will be able to take out those turrets pretty easily. And he's going to start on those SCVs.
And it looks like no SCVs killed off there. There the first one is, and we're starting to see great volleys by Nestea. MVP looking to be in a lot of trouble coming up.
Looks like we are seeing Nestea's next move as he does have the pathogen gland started. He's going to pop in here, take out that reactor. Smart play because it does take so long to build. We also see that hive started as well. So, do you think we're going to be seeing Broodlords, or do you think we're going to be seeing Ultralisk?
I definitely think it will be the Brood Ward play. 100 drones on the field right now for Nestea, and you know what the best thing to do with drones is? He's just going to go ahead and build himself a lot of spine crawlers.
Wow, actually, look at the mineral count right now for Nestea. 2,800 minerals. He is just having such a fun game right now. He can build whatever he wants, whenever he wants, Sean.
Mules, who needs them, right? Let's just get 100 drones. It's no big deal.
That's
the
Zerg answer, I
crawlers
guess.
here. I can put some spine crawlers down here, and let's go ahead and pepper those in the middle as well.